everyone. Welcome to Fostering Growth. My name is Laura and I'm here with a great friend of mine,
Daisy Campos.
And today we celebrate her 5-year photography anniversary. And she began taking pictures, as a hobby, here and there, wherever, which then gradually led to her branching out and making it her official business. So,
Thank
yay.
you.
First off, congratulations.
Thank you.
And always thank you for letting me be part of your journey.
Anytime.
So I just wanted to kind of start, by telling everyone a little about yourself.
So I started 5 years ago. I started because I didn't have a job. So I was bored. I was bored with my life. I had just moved in with Carlos and I just didn't have anything to do, so I was like, I need a hobby. What can I do?
This is pre-pandemic.
Yeah, this was pre-pandemic. This was back in 2016. I was like, I need a hobby. What should I do? And I went to Google and I was like, arts and crafts? Nah. Baking? Nah. And then I saw photography. I was like, ooh, my brother used to do photography. I can't copy him. And I was like, I'll just do it. And then I told Carlos about it, and then he's like, if you're serious about it, I can buy you a camera. And then I was like, well, let me start with my phone. I had like the Galaxy, S7 or something. And then I started with my phone for like a week, and then he's like, I bought you a camera. It was like a $200 camera. And then I started taking pictures. Well, you were one of my first models, so thank you.
Much.
You and your baby were one of my first models, so that was fun.
My baby was bringing in good shots, too.
Yeah, he was a freaking Gerber baby. But yeah, it just started because I didn't have a job and I was bored. And now I'm like, here I am.
Now you're a businesswoman.
I'm a businesswoman. I'm a boss babe.
And that's cool too, because I remember when you first were like, hey, I know we're not close, but would you like to, be pretty for me? And I was like, you think I'm pretty? No, but I remember that. I was like, okay, yeah, I can try. I'm not a model, but I'm a potato. But
you're a beautiful potato.
But no, it was really fun. It was really fun helping you out. And I remember we had so many ideas and so many different themes. I remember the calendar. You want to tell us about the calendar?
I don't know how that came about. Maybe Pinterest?
I have my own calendar, you guys.
Do you still have the calendar?
I think I have some pictures. I don't think you printed it, but I know that you sent me the pictures. And it has like March, April, May. Yeah, it has like the little calendar itself, but I don't think you printed it.
No, we got creative with like, what do we do for January? Oh, January is New Year's. February is Valentine's.
The decoration.
March, your birthday. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. But now looking back, I'm like, wow. I did a lot of growth.
Started from there and now
I'm here.
Oh my god. I totally understand that part of, it is what it is. You started
part of growth.
Yeah, like you started it as, like you said, a hobby. Mm-hmm. And then little by little, you were like, you know what? I really like this. I really like it. And we supported you all the way, and we're like, let's go. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
I'm telling you, I wasn't the perfect model, but I was like, all right, let's go.
You were there each time, so.
So what do you think what was the most difficult part of getting that whole, photography setup of like, okay, this is what I want to do? Because you've changed a couple of times of, you started like family photography and things like that, and then now.
So I didn't know what I wanted. I just knew I wanted to take pictures and experiment, so I did everything. And I'm so thankful for everyone that shot with me, because looking back, I'm like, I'm so sorry. You were orange, you were bright, you were, oh my god.
Yeah, but it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
It's a growth experience.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
But that makes me humble, because I'm like, wow, we all start somewhere.
Yeah. What do you think it was the most difficult one that you did, or that you were trying to portray an idea but you couldn't get it?
There was, at the beginning, everything was hard for me. So every shoot, I was learning something new. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, every shoot, even to this day, I'm like, okay, I could have done this better. And at first, it was the light my biggest struggle. So I was like, oh, I need light, so let me shoot at like 12. And I'm like, wow, that's a terrible idea. Don't shoot at noon. Don't shoot midday, because it's the worst light. So now that I know, it's like, okay, early morning, like sunrise or sunset is the perfect time. So that was my biggest struggle at first, the lighting. And then also finding models, people willing to help me grow my portfolio. But now with time, it's just as I got better, people started reaching out, hey, can you take my photos? And I love that. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it for free. And then once I started seeing growth in myself and I started like learning and paying for courses and things, I'm like, okay, now it's time to start charging. Even if it's, I think I started charging at like maybe $60. Mm-hmm. And now that I look, I'm like, wow, that's nothing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I started from zero, so.
Mm-hmm. As you work your way up,
yeah,
then also the prices.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's that practice, and you yourself know that you were giving yourself that value. You know, you were getting better, so you're like, all right, this isn't cutting anymore.
Yeah.
And it's good because you're giving yourself that value. You're not selling yourself short.
Sure, yeah.
You know? So, like, I'm always proud of you. I'm telling you.
Thank
I'm always proud of everything you've done, because, I mean, anybody can say, like, oh, yeah, I take pictures, or, like, you know, I take my own pictures sometimes that I'm walking out, nature, the sky, whatever. But it takes a lot to edit. It takes a lot, you know, your time to make it right.
Yeah.
Like you said, you paid for courses. You did all of that investment in yourself. You know, it should also be shown to you.
Exactly.
You know?
It's all like time, equipment. Now I know my worth. Like I take everything into consideration. And yeah, for my friends that have been there for day one, I'm like, yeah, for you anytime. But now I'm like, okay, I need people to understand that I know my value. And I mean, if you appreciate it, if you know what it takes, then you'll pay what, you know, for my services.
Exactly. And that's good. You got to put your foot down.
Exactly.
You cannot let okay, well,
I'll do it for free.
The family. No, ¿cuál familia?
No. Sorry, that's
you are
more.
My family, support me.
Exactly. You pay more.
¿Cuál family discount? It's a family ad.
Yeah, exactly. Add on.
So what do you think is the biggest thing that motivated you to, like, take pictures of people? Like, what do you think is what you would, like, use as the motivation?
Probably, well, my brother has a lot to do with it. Thank you, Pablo. If I don't give him a shout out, he's gonna be like, where's my shout out at? But no, he was a big part, because he started taking pictures of me maybe like 2 years, maybe more, before that. And I just saw how excited he got. Like, every time he took a picture and he loved it, I'm like,
It's just a picture.
It's just a picture. Yeah, I mean, I'm perfect. But I just saw his excitement, and I was like, I mean, let me see. And I just saw the picture, and back then I was like, oh my God, these are so good. How do you do it? And he taught me a thing or two, and then I was like, okay, let me try. And then as soon as I tried it, and then I know they weren't, now that I realized they weren't good, but people were still like, I don't know if they were being nice, but they were still like, oh, this is my favorite shot or whatever. And I mean, that motivated me every time, to this day. Every time, like, people are like, oh my God, you know, your angles, or oh my God, I'm gonna frame this picture. Things like that keep me going. So yeah,
that's good. No, I mean, it's because it's true. It's about having that practice, because even in the beginning, like, I remember we would get good shots, and you'd be like, oh my God, I really like this one. And I'd be like, oh my God, me too.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the world was like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God. Delete it.
And then I remember I was always trying to be silly, because it's not that I wouldn't take it seriously, but it's just because it wasn't, you know, like, that's how it was comfortable, like that, like making the faces and making each other laugh. But then I knew that it was helping you too, because even if you were getting, you know, want to say bad pictures of me, because I'm not photogenic, it was more of like, okay, like, let's try it this way. And you go beyond, like, you're on the floor, literally, like, all right, you stand up here.
I
and you're
break
like,
my knees.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this girl's really on the floor. Okay, what do I do now?
This is serious.
Yeah, like, the way that you would direct yourself, like, it was really, you know, it was for fun, but I actually felt like, oh my God, okay, this is a photo shoot. Control yourself, send to yourself, Laura.
Take it seriously.
Yeah, and then I'd be like, no. But I'm really happy, because it actually has shown your growth as a person as well, because we didn't talk a lot before.
No.
And then when we got into that photography, or like you got into it and you asked me, I started talking to you more. And then that's kind of how our friendship like flourished, because we started doing that. And then you would joke and I would joke and I'd be like, okay, this girl's cool. Like she's not, you know, you wouldn't get mad when I was like acting my fool.
Yeah,
you know?
no.
And you're over here like, I want to take a good picture of you. And I'd be like, with my double chin. And you would just laugh and be like so natural about it. And I'm like, okay, this girl knows what she's doing. Like you can get along with a lot of people or even with different clientele. Yeah. And I know you can also be in that professional setting. So I like being able to see that shift in you. That also boosts your confidence, even though you're the one behind the lens. Yeah. But when you're in front of it, now it's like, damn, girl, like, look at you.
Yeah. No, it's also helped me because at first it did, like, my self-esteem was so low and my confidence. Like, it went, like, to the bottom. And then I started taking pictures of other people. And I'm like, wow, they're so pretty. Like, I started comparing myself to them. And I'm like, I shouldn't. I'm the one taking their picture. I know I'm learning their angles. And then Carlos suggested, he's like, you need to have more photo shoots of yourself every so often. And I was like, you know what, that's true. So recently I started doing more photo shoots of myself, and I look back and I'm like, wow, that's really me. It's all about knowing your angles, the lighting. It's not really about having to lose weight and stuff. It's just and I that's what I like about your pictures as well, because it's not just one body type. It's different body types, and you make them, you know, more confident, like the girls and such. And even I've seen some guys too, you know, that with the I think before it was like kind of like the sport kind of setting, and they were like working out. And the guys are all like buff. And you give people that confidence, and you boost their confidence by, you know, taking pictures of them and making them feel like, look at you, like you're a bad bitch, or you're that boss guy. Exactly, you know, like, and it's really nice too. Like it helped me. Even though I didn't do it professionally or like took it seriously, like sometimes when you take a picture of me, I'm like, oh my god, si estoy bonita. I am pretty without a filter.
And I mean, even true, it was true because when you would be like, oh, like move this way or pose this way, like for me it wasn't like, oh my god, I'm looking, you know, when you pose yourself in front of the camera and behind the lens, then you learn about that too. And then you can kind of, you know, put people like, oh, te ves más bonita así. Or me decías a mí like, estás jorobada, hasta para arriba.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. No, but it's because it's true. Like you learn behind the lens and in front of the lens.
Yeah, and that's also taught me like seeing other people pose and then seeing myself pose. I'm like, okay, I know what works better. I know what works for me is not going to work for everybody, but I work with so many different body types now that I'm like, okay, for this person, I shouldn't shoot low angle. Or I even ask them, I'm like, do you want to look tall? No? Okay, you're already tall. I'll shoot from straight on. Yeah. So it's different for everybody.
That's good. That's good. Sorry. Okay. How much adjustment did you have to make when it came to doing that, you know, family setting photo, and then now that you're doing your boudoir?
How much adjustment? Like
speaking of, okay, since when you were doing, you know, the baby picture, or like, you know, with the pregnancy or the quinceañeras, and then so your adjustment to boudoir, like what made you want to swing more that way?
So I wanted to shoot everything just to show people, look, I can do everything. Because I was just starting. I just wanted to get people. And that's
also like learning too.
Yeah, I was learning. I just wanted to learn everything. And I felt like once I learned how to shoot everything, then that would help me get better. And then, I don't know, just out of nowhere, like when I started doing beach shoots, I was like, okay, I started learning how to edit skin. And then I was like, I love to edit skin. I want to edit more skin. And then he suggested, Carlos suggested, you should stick to just one thing, so that way people take you more seriously. Or sometimes people be like, okay, you're a wedding photographer, so people just look for a wedding photographer. They don't want someone that does everything. They want someone that's specialized in one thing. So he's like, start focusing on just, if you want to do boudoir and swimwear. If you want to do fitness, just fitness, but don't do everything, because I'm a creative person, and even to this day I like to plan concepts. So I'm like, he's like, okay, you need to stop, you need to just focus on one thing. So that's when I was like, okay, I wonder who's down. And by then I knew a lot of people already, so I just had to ask, hey, are you comfortable with swimsuit or boudoir? They're like, what is that? And I had to explain, well, it's like lingerie, or it's less clothes, but you don't have to be naked or whatever. And they'd be like, okay. Like, for example, I think Juliana was one of the first ones that helped me. And I didn't have experience in boudoir. I didn't know how to pose them, so it's classy. But then we had our first shoot, and she was happy, and I was like, okay, what do you suggest I could improve on? Like, and she just guided me. She gave me a few tips. She's like, no, well, you made me feel comfortable. And to this day, almost everyone that comes in here tells me, hey, I had so much fun. You made me feel comfortable.
That's good.
You and your husband make us feel comfortable, and that's what makes me happy, and that's what makes me keep going. So ever since I think I've been doing boudoir, just boudoir for about 1.5 years, which is not that long. But I love it. Each time someone wants to do boudoir, like, for themselves, just keeps me going. I'm like, yes, do it for you. It's the best reason. I mean, yeah, you can give it to your significant other or whatever, but for you is my favorite reason.
Yeah, and like we mentioned before, that helps with boosting like self-esteem and everything for people, because I know that even when you've been telling me or telling like Danny, like, you guys don't have to be naked, and we're like, it's not about being naked, it's about being comfortable, and it's not about being comfortable with you, because we're comfortable with you. It's more of like comfortable within us. And so speaking from personal experience, it's like I'm not taking care of myself, so that's why I don't judge myself, because it's like, if I would be working out, if I would be doing all these things, eating healthy and all of that, I would have like a better or nicer body. But it's not about having that nice body. It's about being okay in your skin, feeling good about yourself and how you are, and not having to force yourself. Like, I see like, oh, I have to work out. Oh my God. Like, it's going to be a bad time. Yeah. And it's not, having that body, like, for me. And even now, it's like, of course, I would like to do a boudoir show. Like, I would love to.
Different.
But, but I just don't feel ready. Not just my body isn't ready, but more of like me personally. Like, I'm like, okay, I have to be okay with my self-esteem. Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to put a pin on that. Yeah. But I do find it inspirational with all those girls out there, that are comfortable in their bodies, and they're not hourglass, they're not stick thin, normal, like they got curves, and I'm like, fuck, like, they look good. I want to look like that too. And so putting myself in your shoes of like comparing yourself with them, it's like, well, no, that's not what it's about. It's about seeing the beauty of people. Look at, you don't have to be a certain type to look beautiful, and that's what you portray on your pictures that I always see, and I'm like, this girl's good. This girl's growing.
Thank you. No, and it's not about like, I always tell people this, if you're waiting for the perfect time, it's never gonna come. It's just excuses, and I kept doing that at first. I didn't have my first boudoir shoot till 2018. That was my first one, and I did it with Sheena. She was I didn't want to do it by myself. Sheena. And I asked Sheena, I was like, Sheena, can you model with me? I want to do a boudoir shoot. And then she's like, sure, I'll guide you. And I didn't know how to pose, and she guided me. And I was like, look, it's never going to be the perfect time. I did work out, and I did try to eat healthy to prepare for it. But now I tell people, look, if you don't set a date, or let's say a goal, if you don't have a goal in mind, then you're going to keep putting it back. So the time is now. I always tell people, if you don't take the risk, you'll regret it. So when people tell me, oh, I want to do it, but I want to lose weight, it's like, it's never going to happen. I'm not saying that you're never going to lose weight, but you're just going to keep pushing it back.
Yeah, those excuses of like, no. Because, I mean, that's how I feel sometimes, too. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, my body's not ready. I'm going to hit the gym. And then I'm just like, psych. I'm eating my potatoes and my... No, but it's because it's true. Like, even I feel it too. I'm like, okay, I'll do this when I feel ready, or like when I feel more comfortable. But then I'm like, no, you know what? Maybe that's what I need. Maybe you take those pictures, and then that gives you that like boost of like, okay, I look good, but I can look better, or I can be better. And how I mentioned before, like, my focus is just to stay healthy and be healthy and active. And so that's why I'm like, okay, I put myself in the, I'll get skinnier, I'll get in a better fit, and then I'll take the photos. But then I'm just like, no, I don't think I'll ever be ready.
You will never feel
You're gonna need
ready.
to learn how to like Photoshop tattoos and everything. Because
I'm learning.
taking those off.
Trust
I don't
me.
want anybody to know it was me.
I had someone, I did one. Like, I did it one time for one person, and it was hard. Yeah. And right now, I'm still learning how to Photoshop tattoos out, but it's not easy.
Mm-hmm. But when you say, like, oh, you can do it for yourself. Like, I don't have to post these on social media or anything. You don't have to post them.
I don't even have to post them. Every person that I share on my social media, I ask permission. I'm like, hey, can I share these? If so, anonymous. I give you options. Anonymous. I have full consent. I can share them anywhere. Or I can share them but not tag you, and... For the most part, almost everybody says yes, but I won't feel bad if you tell me no, don't share them. That's fine. I want to make sure you do this for you and you have these for you. So
having that comfort with
Yeah,
it looks good. It looks good. So how are you holding up right now during quarantine? Quarantine has hit us all bad.
Oh my God. Well, that hit me hard last year when it started because I just went into deep depression. I was like, what am I gonna do? I'm stuck at home. I just watched videos all day, like of other photographers. How are they doing it? And just watching the whole world shut down. I was like, this feels like a nightmare. What am I gonna do with my life? I was still working because I work from home, but I had to get creative. So I saw some photographers doing FaceTime photo shoots, and I was like, okay.
FaceTime photo shoots. Oh, I think Daniela told me about that too.
Dani told me. Yeah. I was like, Dani, you want to do a FaceTime photo shoot? I did it with her at her house.
She's like, what?
Yeah, and I told her, we're going to FaceTime and I'm just going to screenshot. Or I think it has an option to take a picture. And, I did. It's not our best pictures, but, I had to get creative. I was like, I still want to shoot. I can't see you, or I don't want to... Not that I don't want to see her, but I don't want to, like, get anyone sick.
Yeah.
You know? So, I had to get creative in that way. Or I think, shutdown happened, like, in March. And then we didn't do anything for a while. I took a break. Well, I had to take a break because my wedding was happening.
Oh, we'll talk about your wedding. Don't worry.
Oh, God. I'll get there.
Hashtag COVID bride.
Hashtag COVID bride. So, I was already going to take a break for 2 months for the wedding, but everyone was forced to take a break. So ending May, I think I had taken a course for photography, and then as soon as I took the course, I started getting inquiries. I was like, how do you say it? I started getting a lot of those, and I was like, what's happening? But people were just bored of being at home. They're like, hey, I want a photo shoot at the beach, or hey, I think I had just started boudoir, and I was like, hey, I'm down, like, at the beach. I'll just wear my mask. I can't really, like, I kept my distance, but when I showed them the picture, I was just, like, next to them, like, trying to still keep my distance. But, depression hit me hard. I did have a lot of anxiety attacks because I was just stressed with dealing with the wedding, and then with, like, I didn't know what to do with my life, and just being stuck at home, overeating. It hit me hard, but right now I'm way better.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what do you think were some of the precautions that you learned from, like, being in quarantine and being stuck? And then now that you're, doing more photo shoots.
Yeah.
I know some of them, now they're kind of in the comfort of your own studio.
Yeah.
But before that, like, I remember, behind the scenes of wearing masks, of trying to, everybody be safe.
Yeah. I'm still wearing a mask. Like, with people I know, I'm like, okay. I don't have to wear a mask, but I still could. Like, if they don't feel comfortable, I still could. But now I'm better, and the precautions that I took, or that I
take. I know, like, hand sanitizers are regular, disinfecting and stuff like that. But, like, with, like, people, like, there's not much.
There's only so much I could do. I just tell them, look, let me know if you
asked me for the picture.
Yeah.
You're here because of your own choices.
Yes. Let me know if you feel sick, any type of sick, if you were in contact with anyone that had it, and then we can reschedule at no cost. It's fine. I just want to be safe.
Yeah.
But now every time someone comes to the studio, I just disinfect it before and after, and I make sure we're safe. I have sanitizers all over.
Yeah.
I wear my mask. I always ask for consent, like, how close, like, I don't want to be too close to them. I'm not saying, like, because germs or whatever. I just
Yeah, no, you have to be considerate
Yeah.
of people. Some people are okay with it, and some
Yeah.
people are like, "Can you step away?"
exactly. And I mean, one thing, COVID, I mean, it helped me be like, okay, you know what? I like this distance thing.
Yeah,
Keep
right?
your space. Don't be too
Please.
close to me.
I know. I'm so used to it now
Yeah.
too that I'm like, I don't want to be close to people.
Yeah.
Like you say, people that you know and all that. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine.
But like strangers outside, you're like, oh, se me está acercando todo.
Anxiety.
I'm gonna wear that hula hoop around.
Exactly. I want to be in that bubble. No, but I learned a lot with quarantine and stuff. I just learned that exercising helps a lot. Getting out for fresh air helps because since I work from home, I get anxiety like if I'm just home every day. I don't go out. So now that we have our gym outside, I mean, I do go out for fresh air, or we go to the gym after work, and that's helped me a lot. Or eating healthier has helped so much because before I was just eating junk food, and I already have stomach problems, so
Let's not go there.
yeah, let's not go there.
And then, you know, when you mentioned your whole like wedding, like that, we were planning since like the year before, since
2018.
pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember the last thing we were able to have was your bridal shower.
Yeah,
And
thankfully.
then the next week was like shut down.
Shut down. I was like, are you kidding me?
We were
I
like
should've-
so close to our
Yes.
bachelorette and
Yes.
then the wedding itself, and then you're like, nope, psych.
Like, are you kidding me? I planned like a year and a half and it's gone. But you know what? I mean, it was for the best because I was getting stressed. Everybody was getting stressed. And it just ended up being our parents. And I was like, you know what? It's stress-free. Even though I did want like our close people, my close friends, we're still going to have that eventually. Maybe in the next year to 3 years. Once this whole COVID thing calms down. But I did like the whole small family type of thing.
It was like very private and personal.
Yeah, and that's what I want. Just how I had it in my bridal shower, that's how I want our wedding to be. Just like tacos and something chill. Like we can still have our dance that we paid for and we practiced for. If we still remember. But I
Better
mean,
start practicing here. And
yeah.
stuff.
I mean, yeah, we had fun. We bonded with our first dance and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll have it eventually. It was everything that happened was for the not everything, but I mean, it turned out.
Because I mean, at the end, you still had your private ceremony.
Yeah,
You
we're
still got married on
so-
the date of.
Yeah.
Sadly, it couldn't be that big,
Yeah.
celebration. And again, it could have been less stressful for
Yeah.
you, which was good because I remember you were going through a really tough time of, okay, I have to get this ready and this ready. And then we were all like chickens without a head. Like, okay, now what's next?
What do we do?
Yeah, and it was fun. It was really a lot of fun. It was definitely challenging at times just because it's like, okay, of some of the decorations that I made for you, I was like, okay, I have to get this and this and this done. We did it for your bridal shower, and we're like, okay, either way, most of these we're going to use for the actual wedding.
Yeah.
And then when that was done, we're like, okay, well, do I save these? Do I throw them away?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? And I remember that you postponed it for
October 3rd.
Mean Girls Day.
Yeah, that's why I chose it. But
and then even then, like, COVID was still
it was
here.
worse.
It was not gonna happen.
Yeah, I was like, look, third time's the charm. I'll wait. We got married. We were already married by then, right?
In May, you got married in May.
So October 3rd hit, and I was like, look, I'm not gonna keep hiding my dress from him. I'm just gonna do my first look because I may gain weight.
Oh.
So I was like, look, let's just do our first look.
¿Cuál gain weight? You have a gym in your background.
Look,
Like, I gained
I
weight.
did gain weight. No, but we did the first look, and I'm glad we did it. Now when we have our like little ceremony / party, it'll be a more like casual, like I'll have like a nice, not wedding dress, just a nice dress, and everyone can come like comfortable. And I was like, look, I don't want to keep postponing and making this like longer than it has to be. I already made it. It already was made long with like COVID.
The first postponement. Yeah.
And I was like, no, the girls are already helping me so much. I'm just going to cancel for now, and then we'll talk about it again in a year to 3.
Yeah, I the Bachelorette was fun.
The Bachelorette
like
was
we
so much
planned
fun.
the Bachelorette, and it was for like August, right? August,
We did it in September, yeah.
September, okay. Yeah, because I remember it was around those like dates.
Yeah.
and then the Airbnb and all of that.
It was perfect.
We're like,
for
we'll
me.
see what happens with the whole party.
Yeah.
But having the bachelorette was fun. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we got together, took the pictures, got to play.
Yeah.
You know, we're able to go out and explore Chicano Park.
Yeah.
Take more pictures.
Old Town.
The sorority setting.
Oh, God.
The let's get.
Look, I have
the tripod.
with my tripod, and I was crazy.
We're like walking around Old Town just trying to take pictures
With
wherever.
a tripod. Oh,
But
God.
it's because it was really like fun to plan it out, and even it didn't work out the way that we planned it out.
Yeah.
It was still something good.
Yeah.
And I felt like even after COVID hit, like we were still bonded of like, okay, let's all get together and do this. And then months would pass and be like, okay, we're gonna get together and do this, and it would feel like nothing.
Never.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But it was so much fun. It was perfect for me. So thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, we're still planning for that big party, but
We'll get
sooner or
there.
later we'll get there. So tell me, nowadays, and well, I guess when you first COVID started, how did you relax, and then how do you relax now? So like, I know with COVID it was really stressful. You were really, depressed, anxiety and all that. So how did you find ways to relax? I know you mentioned exercise and kind of getting that fresh air.
So I got really sick like 3 weeks before we got married. Since I was eating a lot of junk food and I was stressed. So I went to the doctor and they checked me and they're like, okay, you're low on oxygen and I don't know how you say it in English, but it's vesicula.
Vesicula? I think it's like the mouth of your stomach, maybe?
I think so.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he saw it and then he's like, it's really big.
Vesicula. Maybe it's the gallbladder. Even your stomach.
I'm
not a doctor. I'm not certified. Hold on.
Let me look it up before I give false information.
Anyways, your vesicula, you were saying.
Yeah. So he said it was really big. It was like 3 times the size.
Yep, it's your gallbladder. I was like, wait, no, my mom got operated for her vesicula.
Yeah.
No, yeah, so your gallbladder was enlarged.
Yeah, so he's, at first everyone, because every morning I kept waking up and I was nauseous. I kept throwing up and they're like, are you pregnant? I was like, I can guarantee you I'm not pregnant.
She's like, Virgen Maria, por favor.
I'm not. But I went to get checked and they're like, nope, you're not pregnant. It's really big. Mm-hmm. You are eating a lot of junk food and you're really stressed and you're getting angry really easily. And I'm like, wow, you can tell all that from that picture.
Gallbladder?
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
My gallbladder is my personality now.
Jesus. So, okay, well, I gotta watch how I take care of myself, not get stressed easily. But I'm just a stressful person. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, well, I saw another person. I went to therapy and they're like, oh, I recommend yoga, meditation. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. It's boring for me, but I'll try it. Mm-hmm. So I did try it every night before bed and I was like, oh my God, this actually helps. Just stretching helps like relax the muscles and stuff. Mm-hmm. And doing it every day, well, now I stopped, but doing it every day just helped me relax. And then I drink green tea now because it's supposed to be like good for you. Mm-hmm. And it just helps me, like, my body just relax, get ready for bed. That, also working out, not watching the news every day, just waiting to see when this will be over. Me in March thinking, oh, by May it'll be over. Hell.
By my wedding it'll be over.
By my wedding it'll be over. Psych. A year later it's still here. So just watching the news stressed me out, and then with all like the riots and stuff, it just stressed me out. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna get off social media for a while.
Living so close to a shopping mall too, where it could be possible. Yeah.
So it was just stressful. We couldn't go out. I don't like going out as it is, but being told not to do it, it's like, now I want to do it.
Now I want to go. Yeah. So I think a lot of people felt like that.
Yeah. So I mean, that was hard, but now like working out and stuff, it's helped a lot. Eating healthier now. I mean, I still cheat every now and then, but I learned the hard way not to eat spicy foods. Like, even if they're like, oh, just a little bit, it's like, no. As soon as I eat spicy, my stomach is like, psych.
Yeah.
You want to die.
Like you.
No.
Like, you're really asking for it, girl.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare yourself for a shoot? Like, not literal of like, okay, my camera and this. No, like mentally. Like, where do you place yourself of like, okay, like, in order, especially now with like the boudoir, I know, you know, posing people and all of that, but like, do you, you know, kind of do a routine for yourself? Like, do you kind of have, you know, something you do, turn a candle on, relax, breathe? I don't know, you know, because I mean, you have to kind of be in it, because if these people are paying you like for an hour or 2 hours and you want to get those like shots in, like, is there anything that you do, you know, to prepare yourself?
Yeah, so I always, like, when a client messages me, oh, I want to do a boudoir shoot, it's normally ahead of time, maybe 2-3 months, so that helps me plan it out. And I always send like they always get a few emails from me. Like, the first email they get is like, I'm so excited for your shoot. The second email is a questionnaire, like, hey, what kind of music do you like for your shoot? Where do you like to shop at? What is your, like, obsession? Like, what makes you happy? Things like that. I always, like, send them emails leading up to their shoot just to help them prepare. And then I always have, like, a Pinterest board for each client. And I'm like, okay, we're going to share these, and then just save pictures that you want for yourself. And that's how I prepare. I'm like, okay, they want to go this direction. Or I always send them like it's like a little PowerPoint, and they tell me from 1 to 10, how risky or tame do you want it?
Okay.
So they're like, okay, I'm between a 5 and a 6, which is like kind of a sheer but not nude. More 7 to 10. 10 is like completely nude. It's like whatever. They don't
out
care.
There.
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans stuff. Which, I mean, I don't mind. It's whatever they want. So
it's the comfort level of them.
As long as they know that I'm not making them do anything, this is all on them. And I always ask them as well. My husband's here to help with lighting and poses, but he doesn't have to be here. I'm the one that shoots. He just helps me with moving furniture, or if we need pose ideas, but he doesn't have to be there. But for the most part, everyone's comfortable. They're like, no, you guys are a great team. But yeah, I always prepare with like watching videos, or just looking at pictures for inspiration. So I don't really do like meditation or anything crazy.
I don't really like put myself.
No,
I mean, it's because some people do that. Like, yeah, you know, kind of. I mean, obviously, like, let's say it's soccer players and stuff.
Yeah,
you know, start
they
praying
stretch
and stretching. And that's what I'm saying. Like, not a literal kind of thing, but just kind of how you know, get yourself ready. Or like mindset of like, okay, this is what my customer wants. Yeah, and then this is what I give them. It's so just, you don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah, too. It's just I put music on, and that hypes me up. I'm like, okay, I'm getting in the zone. I'm getting ready.
I got a feeling.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, what kind of music do you want to listen to? For the most part, they say, what do they say? Doja Cat.
Doja Cat.
They say Bad Bunny. Those are the top 2. Or The Weeknd.
I'll put Bad Bunny on I do my boudoir, I'll put Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. They're like, that always hypes me up. And sometimes, I mean, at first they start shy and covering themselves, and I'm like, look, eventually you're going to have to move your hands.
Yeah, like.
If you want those good
you
pictures.
You said a 7. That's
not a 7, honey. We're barely getting started.
No, but that's what I'm telling you. Like, it's a good thing, too, because some people, of course, I mean, I bet you have customers that are, or like clients, my bad, not customers, clients that come in and they're like, all right, here I am. Yeah. But then there's the ones that are like, yeah, I want to do this, but like, okay, let me just kind of, because it's, I mean, even with me, I would definitely be shy, even though I know you for like 5 years, and we've shot before and things like that, and I'm like, no, espérate.
Not yet.
Just my shoulder.
Just my hand.
But it's
a little bit of leg.
It's that comfort level, I'm telling you, and I'm glad that you're able to communicate with your clients too, to be like, hey, the line is right here. Yeah. You are the one that steps over it. Yeah. Like, I don't want to do that for you.
And sometimes they need a little push. Like, sometimes I'm still afraid to, like...
I don't want to push you, but, like, take it off.
I don't want to push you, but take it off. You told me a 7, and here we are still at a 1.
No, and it's true, too, because as much as people are like, okay, they'll, like, you know, start at 1, and then 4,
work
and then
their way
5.
up.
Yeah. And then they try that 7, and they'll be like, oh, no, you know what, I don't feel comfortable.
That's fine.
So then you can always step back.
Yeah. I always tell them, like, just give me... a number, and we'll go off that. And they're like, for the most part, everyone so far has said, oh, for example, a 7, and it's like, I think, sheer. And they always go above that. I'm like, okay, I expect the 7, and then they're like, oh yeah, I want to do nude, and they're stripping, and I'm like, well, let's do it. I wasn't ready for that, but I mean, if you're ready, I'm ready. If I make you
gotta be ready.
If I make you feel comfortable, that's a great sign,
right? That's good. I'm telling you, that as long as they feel comfortable with you, then you're on a good roll.
I don't
They're gonna
care.
be telling their friends, like, girl, I got in there naked, and she was like, click, 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 you got it.
She got all my angles.
Right. I don't want to give out too much of the project that you're working on.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, where do you see yourself in the next... I mean, I want to say 5 years, but let's go 3 years. Like, where do you see yourself in the next 3 years?
With my own... I know I have my studio, but it's out of my garage.
But it's something.
It's something. I mean, I love my studio. It's my happy place. But I feel like in 3 years, I'll either have we'll have our own house, and our studio can be based off our house, or I'll just rent
another garage.
Another garage. It would be our like all of our house except our bedroom, or it could be...
Damn, girl, you're gonna be like a living room, like set
everything,
up. The kitchen for picture setup.
Restroom.
We're gonna go in there and it's gonna look like IKEA.
Exactly.
The
That's the goal. Or like selfie world, I think it's called, where they have sections.
World? Oh hell no.
I mean, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
I mean, that's where I see myself with my own studio, our house,
and your little project.
My little
I don't want to give out too much.
I mean, it may be coming soon, so we'll see about that.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Have your wallets ready. Wink, wink. Get your sugar daddies.
Alright, so I kind of just want to ask more about like your, kind of self-care, love kind of thing, because again, I told you, this has kind of put your confidence out there too.
Yeah.
While you've been working in this photography, like I remember, I mean, even in the way, I don't want to say in the way that you dress, because it's not like you're dressing like you dress ugly, but it's just like you can see your personality and confidence come out in even what you're wearing, or even like when you do your own photo shoots. And it's good to see that, see that growth within you. And I mean, I hopefully to see that growth within myself. But it's nice to see that. It really is nice. It really is a good feeling to be like, wow, I've seen her grow. It's like my little child. And now
I watched her when she sucked.
No, you didn't suck. You just had a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, wow, like this girl's going places.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm always here for support if I have to be model, even if it's just my legs or something. Like I try my best. I always try my best on giving you those, at least to get those angles. And even if I'm having a goofy face in it, fine. It's like, no girl, my body looks on point, but my face is just because it's my face.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay, so as a daily habits, like what are your daily habits that you've like had, that you've gone on to kind of like improve yourself?
Well, I know I should have started a long time ago, but I just started like taking care of my skin.
It's never too late.
Never too late to start. I started taking care of my skin, even though I've been breaking out lately because of that mask. Because I always get it like around my mouth area. But every night, before I go to bed, I just make sure I wash my face, take off all the makeup, and then just put my mask on. I use different masks, like a charcoal mask for like clearing my skin, or I know it's not really a mask, but it's honey. I put honey on my face because it's supposed to clear it, and it is clearing it. Right now I just have like scarring, which I'm trying to get rid of.
Okay.
But yeah, I've heard that works too. So I've been trying different masks, but I love doing my mask. Like I like wearing makeup, but when I take it off, oh my god,
it feels real good.
Yeah, it
have
feels
a clean, fresh face.
Yeah, my skin loves me. That also, working out has helped me, because when I don't work out, I just feel stressed and I feel like nasty. Like, oh, I gotta take care of my body. And also eating healthier. Now I'm eating less. I mean, my body forced me to eat less because I have stomach problems. But I mean,
And we know we love to eat.
I love to
always
eat.
eating.
Yes.
We're like, hey, you wanna
hang out?
go and eat? Yes.
There'll be food. Or
you wanna go take pictures? I don't know. You wanna go eat? I'll feed you. Oh my God, yes, let's go.
Everyone that I shoot with, like all my friends know, when you shoot with me, I will feed you.
Yeah.
That's how I pay you.
I know, nothing's for free. Like,
Nothing's
I'm paying you with food. All right, thank you. What do you think are 3 like negative mindsets that you need to let go in order to like bloom in your little business? You say, like just within yourself. Like, doesn't have to be 3, but like you know, top things that get to you.
Maybe not being scared to get close to people, like.
And this isn't about 6 feet, people.
Yeah, it's not about 6 feet.
The
It's
distance.
like for example, a client comes and they feel kind of like shy. I don't want to make them feel more uncomfortable. If I need to change, like fix their strap, I am nervous to get close to them, but if I show that I'm nervous, it's gonna make them more nervous. So I need to stop. I need to tell them like, hey, can you fix their strap or whatever. But when it's my friends, obviously I feel comfortable. I'm over here like moving their strap, fixing their hair, whatever. But it's for the better, because it's their pictures. They're paying me.
Yeah.
They trust me for their pictures, so I need to do that. Also, I need to stop being afraid of telling them exactly what I'm looking for. So if they tell me, oh, I want artistic nude, for example, I need to stop being afraid of telling them, okay, move your leg this way or do this. Because sometimes they want to do something and they're too afraid to ask, and I have to be the one to tell them. And for the most part, Carlos is here with me. And then he sees that I want to say something and I don't, so he has to be the one that says it. So I need to, I think those are the 2 things. Main things that I need to work on. Other than that, I mean, I like where I am so far.
That's
just
good.
that, and then working on my marketing, which my main marketing right now is TikTok and Instagram.
TikTok. No, but that's good, because it really does help you, you know, in that professional setting of like being able to work with people and like move them or pose them without you making it seem like, oh no, it's not that you're wrong or like you're placed wrong. It's just that this would look better. And I feel that when you show that confidence, they're going to be like, oh, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, they'll listen. Because if you have that, well, maybe if, because I remember when we would do it, because both of us were starting. I was the first beginner model. You were the first big model. We'd be like, let's look on Pinterest and look at poses. And then we would copy the poses. So like now you being able to be like, okay, move your hand here, or like put your face up, or like lean more back, or like curve your back. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore. And you're like, curve it. And I'm like, okay.
Fake it.
Yeah, like it really implies that you are putting your 100% on what you do, and your clients are going to be happy about it.
Exactly. I need to show them that I'm confident. That
you're here.
That I'm here to... I'm here for business. I mean business.
You mean business. Oh, okay. So if you could relive one of your like moments of like, I guess maybe in your photography or like in general, of what would you like to like relive that you think was like, oh my God, this was by far one of the best? Not photography sessions. You don't have to say who it was. It's more of like how you felt about how you controlled the whole situation. Not just like, oh, the prints were good or the pictures were good.
I'd have to say every time I have a photo shoot, I'm like, oh, I love this shoot. I love this shoot. Like every shoot, there's something I love about it. But I think what I'd love to relive is I just did like this was a long time ago, maybe a year into my photography, which I'm surprised. I planned a last minute photo shoot with 4 to 5 girls I've never met. I just met them online, but they never knew each other. Catfish. Yeah. They didn't know each other, and I didn't know them. I just met them online, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna invite 4 to 5 people, because sometimes they cancel last minute. So at least as long as 2 show up, that's fine. They all ended up going, which I was overwhelmed because I was the only photographer. But we made it work. One girl drove. We did get pulled over because she wanted to get there already.
Oh, God.
We got pulled over and she was under 18. So they told me to drive because I had my license and I was the oldest. I hate driving. So I was like, look, I'm going to drive around the corner once the cop leaves and you're going to drive.
Again.
Someone else ended up driving.
Daisy.
But it was such a fun memory. We made, like, I'm always making friends with, like, my clients or my models or whatever. So it's something I would redo. It was at the sand dunes, by the way. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm trying to like
remember,
because I remember there's a couple of like theme ones. I remember the one that was like kind of like fire and air and like.
Oh yeah, that was with
that.
Danny.
Yeah, so I was like, that was 4, and I was like, it wasn't 5. I'm trying to count the times. I'm like,
that was the elements shoot. I just got an idea from a BuzzFeed video, and I was like, I want to do an elements shoot, and they were all down. That was a fun shoot too. But this one I'm talking about.
But the sand dunes, yeah, the sand dunes were really cool too. Sand dunes. Yeah, the pictures were really nice too.
And I want to go again, and I want to take my wings. I know that will be beautiful.
Be really good, yeah.
But I'll wait.
Because you right now you have even a lot more, to be able to work with. Like, yes, COVID is kind of getting a little bit under control and things like that. So once you're able to kind of go to those places, I mean, you can still do it now, but now with the new props that you have or the new ideas. Imagínate en los sand dunes, los nudes.
Oh, the nudes,
better
the
get
fancy
ready
nudes.
for the sand.
Oh God, clean yourself after.
Los wipes. Wipe yourself down.
Oh my God, I have sand in places I didn't never imagine I would have.
What is that? The Rugrats when Chucky gets sand in his pants. I got sand in my pants. I got sand in my pants.
Exactly, in my underwear. Oh God.
No. So, when you were growing up, what was the thing that you actually wanted to do before this photography?
Oh God. What did I want to be? I think I wanted to be a lawyer because I like
Legally Blonde.
I like to argue. I mean, it sounds funny.
I want to be a lawyer because I like to argue.
I like to argue.
Objection, Your Honor. Why are you objecting? I don't know. Just objection.
I just always found a reason to argue, and now I hate arguing. I'm like, no, don't argue.
You're like,
love me. Yeah. Please love me.
Imagine you a lawyer.
Oh no, I would cry. I get stressed so easily. I would not make it. Plus, it's like 12 years or more of like just studying to be a lawyer, and no.
You're like, photography, like 1 year, I got it down.
I got it down. I mean, there's still so much for me to learn, but I'm here now, 5 years later.
Right. Would you do anything differently?
No, I'm happy where I am. I mean, I would like those 2 things that I want to work on, probably, but other than that,
you're in a good place.
I am in a good place.
Yay,
yeah.
That's good.
Go Glen Coco.
Yeah, you go, Glen Coco. You go. So, if you could describe your personality, like, how would you describe yourself?
Oh, gosh, you tell me. Just kidding.
Savage.
Oh, yeah, I'm petty.
You're aggressive when you're tipsy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink.
You don't even drink.
I drink water and I'm crazy.
No, you're aggressive in general.
Yeah, I am. I wake up and choose violence every day.
Violence every day.
I'm very bubbly. I
think you're like one of those like really friendly people.
Yeah.
Like, you'll always reach out like as kind and friendly. And then once you get to know you, then that's when the savage comes out.
Yeah.
And then that's where we're like, oh, damn, Daisy. And you're just
chill.
like, it's okay. I'm just kidding. And we're like, oh, okay.
I'm kidding, but not really.
Yeah. And then you get used to it. You're like, Daisy said what? Oh, yeah, that's Daisy.
Oh, yeah, that's Daisy. Yeah, I'm petty and I'm like, look, if you know me, just accept it. That's it.
But professional-wise, you are very kind. Yeah. And you are very, how do you say it? You're very, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm like having brain farts.
Same.
It starts with a C. You're very comforting. Like, you are comforting. Like, you'll put yourself, to the side and be like, how can I help you? Or like, how can I make you feel this way?
Yeah.
Because even with me, with either it was a photography session or if it was just me, you know, crying in your house.
Yeah.
It was like, you were like, well, what can I do? Like, how
Yeah.
can I do, you know, to make you feel more comfortable?
Yeah.
And so I see that in your photography too, of like trying to get to know your clients and being like, oh, well, how do you want me to do this? How do you know, you like to mold yourself for a person, but it's not you letting yourself being stepped over.
Yeah.
You know, so it's more of like, okay, I can do this for you, but then if you don't get that same energy back, then you're like, nah.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am. Like, I know what I want, so, well, that's weird for me to say because before I was so indecisive.
Exactly, but you're growing, and now you can tell, like, no, this is what I want. I know what I want. You're determined. You're more stronger than you were before.
Yeah.
And that's why when you have these, like, that, you know, project, you're just kind of like head on. Like, let's go. Let's do this.
Exactly.
And Daisy 5 years ago would have been like, I don't know.
I don't know what I want.
Maybe. I don't know. Campos, ayúdame.
Help me.
If you could give advice to your younger self, hashtag 5 years ago.
Yeah.
What do you think the advice would be?
Just go for it. Don't listen to what other people are saying about you. Just do it. Just do it. Just stop listening to people.
Stop listening to your brain.
Yeah,
like your
just do it. Don't overthink things. Just go for it. Doing. Because the more you overthink it, the longer it'll take for you to start. It's like the more that you're pushing it back more. Just do it. Basically it.
Just do it.
Don't listen to other people's, like, you can listen to their opinions, yes, but don't let that stop.
What is that saying? If other people don't like it, then you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Like, if people are getting, I don't want to say offended, obviously, but if people are like, oh my god, this is this, then you're doing something right.
Yeah.
People are talking about it.
And they're always gonna talk, so I mean, might as well give them a reason to.
Right, exactly. And it goes for everything. Like, it's not just, you know, the photography or like me with this podcast. I'm having doubts of like, well, what are people thinking? And it's like, who cares? Like, I'm not trying to do this, you know, in a bad light. I'm not trying to give anybody of, you know, gaslighting people of like, oh, like, it's gonna be okay, life is okay. No, it's trying to share, you know, those experiences of every type of experience from all my friends. Yeah. Because everybody has gone through that, you know, different
and then
challenges.
People can relate to your podcast at some point. They're like, oh, okay, I've been through there. I'm not alone, you know?
Yeah, no, and that's kind of like why I also did it. Like, it was kind of like a just do it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't do it now,
it's never gonna happen. Yeah.
And I mean, I think I've had the idea for like months. Like, maybe like since last year, maybe mid pandemic.
Wow.
I remember that I was like, well, what can I do? And I was like, I really want to start a podcast because they were becoming so popular.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I can reach people, I like to help people, but I can't, you know, expand myself physically, like helping my family members and such. But if I can record myself with talking with friends or talking with other people about their experiences and what they're going through and what I'm going through, then it can kind of help people, especially during this pandemic where a lot of people are like stressed out, have that anxiety, that depression, or finding what to do. Hearing those like words of encouragement or like what other people are going through and what they have overcome, it puts people in that mindset of like, oh, I can do it too. Yeah. Like, we're literally saying 5 years ago you started this. You you started with your phone and then you got a camera and then now you have your studio in your garage. You have all this going for you. Your clientele has, you know, shot out the roof. Like, it's crazy how all these changes can happen in those 5 years, and it's why? Because you were like, let's do it.
I'll see where this takes me.
You haven't quit your job yet, but that's the plan. Yeah, and you're, girl, you go for it. You go, Glen Coco. I'm telling you, like, keep going, because as much as I've seen those changes of like the different themes, the different type of shoots, you know, with family, with, you know, baby, with like my son, maternity, quinceañeras, weddings. And then now the boudoir. I think this is by far like where you really are shining. Yeah. Because it really is something that you enjoy. And it's not just like, oh, I'm taking pictures of people in nude. Yeah. No, it's like you're showing that beauty that you see in them. And then it shines out more because they're like, oh my God, they really feel like beautiful and perfect. And you're like, I got you, girl.
It shows that I enjoy it because, I mean, I put a lot of work into it and I don't like to just whatever, you know.
Take a picture, edit is here,
Filter,
red eyes.
Yeah.
All right, good. You're good.
You're good.
No, yeah. Like I like that you show the before and after in each set on Instagram. That shows the work that you put into it.
I try to show people not to make them feel bad. Like, no, not that they're ugly before, that there's anything wrong. It's just I want to show the process. Like, look, it's not just taking a picture and it comes out like this. There's a process that goes into it to show more of the value that's into it. Exactly.
It shows the value of your work as well, because you put in the work and then you can see the detail in it. And then it's like, you know, it's that proof. Like, the work speaks for itself. Look at the before and after, and you're like, oh, shoot. Like, that's a big difference.
Exactly. And then my prices have changed a lot. And right now, they're really high. And, I mean, I've had people that used to pay me, like, $120 when I first started. And now they're like, oh, okay, it's $1,000. Okay, it's still expensive, but I see the value.
Exactly. Like, you see your work when you post. You know, you're like, oh my God. And like I said, it's different people, different sizes. It's not just like, oh, the model curve thin with a butt or boobs or, you know, it's all types. Like, ahí tienes de todo. Like, every background, every type of body type. And you see, even when you do couple ones, like, you portray them both, like the beauty in both. And I feel like it's a really strong... it gives a strong message with what you do too, because it's like, anybody can take pictures, like I've mentioned, or, you know, do this or that, but the intention that you put behind it also makes it flourish.
Exactly. And then, I mean, it shows that I love it. It shows that I make people feel comfortable, because, I mean, you see the picture now, you're like, wow, that's a really beautiful shot, and I would not be able to get it if they were not comfortable with it.
Yeah. So that's very true. So if you're looking to book, Daisy's going to drop her information soon. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
We'll get to it.
I got you. I'll take your fancy nudes. And people ask me sometimes, they're like, do you shoot plus size, or can I still shoot this if I'm like bigger? And I'm like, that makes me feel sad, because I'm like, boudoir is for everybody. Don't just
it's not a size.
Yeah, I know most of the pictures I share are like more thinner people or like normal, but I'm like, look, sometimes I have shot like different, like bigger sizes or even smaller sizes, but I am not able to share everything on social media. So,
and of course that always comes to the comfort of your client, because you could have a client that comes in here, you know, and takes her pictures and be like, oh no, these are just for me.
These are just for me. So I have to respect that.
Yeah, like if it, I see what you said. You know, it's sad when girls think that way, because even with me, like I don't think that I'm, you know, big. It's just I'm not okay with my body, so they have that same feeling of like their self-esteem is low, or they're asking you like, oh, can I still do it even though I'm plus size?
Yeah.
But you don't post it, not because you don't take pictures of them, but it's because, you know, they're for themselves or not comfortable with it, and hopefully one day you're able to portray that on your profile as well, so then more people can be more, you know, it just takes that one brave person to do it. Because as soon as you post something like that, the other girls will see it and they're gonna be like, oh my God, you get her. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, hey, if you want to, you're plus size,
just do it.
Yeah, do it, and you're confident, like you can be the change that another girl is gonna see, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, like we're the same body type, but look at her, she's sexy,
she's killing it.
Yeah, like she looks good and fire and all that stuff, you know, and that's what we want to do, bring up people. It's better to bring them up than putting them down. Like,
exactly, there's no need for that.
Yeah, everybody's built differently, and it's also kind of the whole sense of my podcast too, of like everybody comes from different backgrounds, you know, different body types, different like thoughts, because we're a year apart, and yet when we're on the same like brain level, like there's still other things that we're like, oh, we're still different, like we get along, but we know that we have different opinions, and we're not ones to be like, oh, Daisy, estás muy flaca, like I would never, you know, if I play with you like that, I'm like, she desnutrida, gorda de donde. But it's never to put you down, you know, and the same goes for my other friends. Like I always try to boost you guys up. I know I don't do it for myself, But I'm always like, hey, you go, Coco.
Yeah.
Daniela también, pinche hermosura de mujer.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, even with Sheena too. Like, I met Sheena and I was just like, oh my God, like, it's a new friend. And now we have the little clique that we hang out here and there.
Yeah.
And we're all different. We're all different. Different ages and different body types and different backgrounds. Yeah. And yet, like, we're always pushing each other up. And that's what I want to see more. I'm not going to say I'm a saint. Of course, there's, you know, been times when you have a problem with one girl or another, or like, you know, high school, especially high school, or like even in workplace. Yeah. But it's not our intention. I feel like it's not our intention to be like that towards girls. It's more of like what society puts out, because it's like, it's easy to be like, for me, oh, like, look at that girl, like, she has a nice body, and like, you know, she gets attention, and it's like, I wish I had that body. Yeah. And then I start hating on her because she has a nice body. It's
doesn't
like,
make sense.
No, like, I should be hating on her if she does something to me personally, you know, or something like that. And when I changed my mindset, especially in my work right now, that I work more in a, like, I have to kind of work with everybody. My job consists of me working with, you know, different people coming up to me and like, oh, here's a mix-up or missing lens and things like that. So I try to treat everybody the same with respect. And I stopped looking at girls, because like I said, I'm not going to say that I didn't do this, but I stopped looking at girls like that. Like, I would compare myself with them, and that's what made me not like them without even treating them. But it was also more of like, no, like, I don't know who she is. I don't know her personality. I don't know her story. Exactly. Like, just because she's is one way doesn't mean that that's how she is. A lot of broken people put up a front of, you know, she could be confidence of like, yeah, no, I feel like this, I feel like that. Like, ew, she's really snotty. She's feeling herself. But you don't know if she goes home and cries and she's not comfortable with herself. And it goes same with guys, you know, with anybody. Guys, girls, they, them, any type, you know, pronouns and everything. Yeah. I wanted to change that about myself, because I saw the world through those glasses. And I'm like, no, like, I don't want to do that anymore. And so I changed that about myself. And even seeing your work on, like, on Instagram, like, it makes you see the difference of, like, everybody's beautiful. Everybody has their own way. Just because you don't look like them doesn't mean that you should be envious or, you know, putting them like, oh, like Mira, like, she's a slut. Like, you know, she takes pictures provocative. And like, yes, we have those moments where we say that. But as long as you're not intentionally up to somebody and being like, hey, you're this, you're that. Or like, no, like, you're, you know, too chubby to be wearing that. Like, I try to tell girls like, hey, you look really good in that, you know, like, I like your outfit. And even like sometimes I'm like, oh, like, where'd you get it? Things like that. You kind of want to boost people and make them feel good about themselves. Even if it's a shirt, like a simple t-shirt, you're like, hey, your shirt's really cool. You should see how it brightens people's day. Like, they're like, oh, thank you. Like, really? And then they wear the shirt again and they're like, oh yeah, they told me I look nice in this, you know? And so I started kind of talking to people in that, oh, your hair looks really nice. Or like, oh, hey, you got new glasses. Like, noticing those things, you know, with my coworkers especially. And it helps me also, like, it makes me feel like a better person. Like, I'm just like, but it also helps me feel like I'm not comparing myself to them anymore, because I'm just trying to boost them up. Like, no, it's okay. Like, you know, trying to teach them different things that, you know, in my job place or anything. But before it was that society made me compare myself to them because I was in what society was asking for. Yeah. And I'm like, no, like, it shouldn't be like that. And so me trying to, you know, give that positive, like, feedback and tell people like, it's okay, you know, work on yourself and be okay with yourself, because the rest of the world, it doesn't matter. And it's the same thing. Like, you shouldn't put negativity out there because you feel negativity within. Like, it doesn't work. Like, you're not going to get rid of it like that. You're only going to feel worse, or even worse, you're going to not be okay with people. That's it, exclude.
You never know what someone's going through, so it's always good to be nice. I mean, and that's a good start, that you stopped comparing yourself. I mean, yeah, every now and then we may still do it, and that's normal. But it's a good start to, instead of like, oh, she's a slut or whatever, you know what, she's confident. I like that. That's something I can work on, you know?
Yeah, and it, like I said, it really kind of opened my eyes to see it that different way, because I'm not perfect. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna say I never talked about anybody, because everybody has in a certain point. But I started realizing that it wasn't because I didn't like a girl specifically. It was more because I was comparing myself. And I'm like, wait, Laura, that's not good. Like, eso no está bien. Like, why are you doing that? And it was because I was reflecting my own insecurities on them. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want to be about. Like, people already see me and they're like, oh, she's so nice. And then other people are like, she's not nice. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not nice. But I did want to change that about myself. So like I said, I encourage people, you know, sometimes people are like, come up to me and they're like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, please don't apologize. Like, you should say sorry when you do something bad intentionally. Like, don't say sorry because you forgot how to do this, or you know, like, just come up to me and be like, hey, like, I need help in this. And I'm always trying to help. It does get stressful at times, but I'm always trying to help. You know, I'm always trying to just, like I said, put myself in their shoes of like, I don't know what they're going through at home. I don't know if they come, you know, here and they're in a bad mood. Like, I don't want to poke at them. Be like, okay, you know, respect people how they are. And then that also comes with me, because there's days that I have a really bad day and then I go to work and I'm just like, I need to shrug the day off, not, you know, express my stress or my, you know, anger towards
it's no
people.
One's fault but ours.
But you know, sometimes it does happen. And so I try to like limit that too, of like, okay, I know that I can't swallow my feelings, but as long as I'm not hurting and somebody else purposely, then it's like, I always try to be nice. I try to my best to be neutral. And then, you know, if somebody does something to me, then that's personal. Then I'm like, oh, okay, pues si quieres jugar así. But it, you know, most of the time it's like, I'm already putting up that front of like, oh, I'm insecure in myself. So now I'm like trying to be like, oh, mira esa morra, like, se cree porque tiene that. No, but it's sadly like it's society. Like that's how they make us seem. And with your photography, I remember that you're like, you would tell me, I want, you know, not just girls, but most of your models have been girls. To see themselves in that better light, to see themselves more, you know, their self-esteem to go up, more confident, to see the beauty that it is. I know you've tried to do it with me too, and a lot of the pictures that you've sent me, I'm like, oh my god, I look pretty in this and this and that, you know. But I know that I'm not gonna just be comfortable like looking at nice pictures. Like, that's why I have to be in the complete picture of my body.
Exactly.
But recognizing what I do has really helped me change that perspective.
That's a good
like
start.
Like, Laura, no, don't be a hater. Stop hating and start working on yourself. Like, there's no way that you can hate if you're not doing anything. Like, but
if you're hating, you are not working on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're only digging yourself deeper in that hole. So that's one of the things that I've changed. But it's also, I guess, having you as a friend, as a photographer, I get to see that on Instagram. And it's not even like envy. It's more of like, oh my god, I want to look like her. Oh my god, I'm gonna, you know, or like, you know, feel like that. You know, it's not even, like I said, it's not me being tiny with a tiny waist and a big butt. No, it's just being comfortable in my skin. And I feel like it's also like trauma from the past that I have to get through. But it's a good start. Like you said, it's a good start.
It's a great start.
To put myself in that, okay, I need to be nice. People, I don't know what they've gone through, and don't compare yourself. It's the worst thing that you can do. Just compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to yourself in the mirror. What can I do to get better? What can I do to, you know, mentally prepare myself of like, no. Like I said, I'm trying to do like the more exercise. I haven't been able to go to the gym yet, you know, money-wise at this point. And I'm also still kind of scared of going to the gym. I'm wearing my mask and then there's still people around. It's just kind of like, you know what? I want to, if I can work out at home for now and save some money when I know I'm not going to be going every day to the gym. Like, then I'm trying to do that consistency. I've been trying to eat healthier. You know, I've been trying to have more fruits into my diet. Working graveyard, I'm having lunch at midnight, so it's kind of hard. Sometimes I'm like eating a heavy meal and then it makes me feel worse. So I'm like, okay, work on snacks. Work on, you know, making some home meals, even if it's on the weekend when I'm not working, so I have that time, or things like that. Because it's just it's all over the place. Like it's a lot to process, and when you think of it all together, like, it becomes overwhelming. So that's why it's like baby steps.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I started on, my mindset of like not putting myself like, comparing, and then just, treating my body better, because like I've said, if I'm not working on it, then what gives me the right to criticize if I'm not putting in the work?
Exactly.
So I'm like, negative thoughts away, go away. And keeping that positive. It's hard, but getting out of bed and being active or getting some fresh air does really help.
It's a start. I used to be like that too. I used to be, I was very like overprotective and jealous back in high school. It was so bad. But this photography helped me just grow. And even some people at first, I think even Dani told us at one point when I first started, she wasn't sure how comfortable I was, or she didn't want me to get mad when we did her first photos at the swing. She didn't want me to get mad if like Carlos picked her up and put her on the swing. And I understand. I mean, I don't know how much she knew about me back then, but I understand. And after my photography, I just got better. I mean, now we shoot nudes together, couple goals.
Right?
But it just shows how much I trust, how much I've grown as a person. And I see it myself, and I'm like, you know what? I'm so glad I've grown. Like, I've got rid of that toxic in me. And there's still so much I need to do to grow, like not get like sad or mad over some things I can't change. But I mean, I've seen the growth, and even Carlos tells me, I'm so proud of you. I see the growth, and you just continue growing. And I'm like, you know what? That motivates me. So
that's good. Yeah, I can definitely see that too. I mean,
thanks.
I know. I mean, I call him Campos. That's his last name, but it's Carlos.
Yeah.
But I known him since high school, and I remember that you were his girlfriend, but I didn't know you like personally like that. And I knew him before you.
Yeah.
And then when I met you, it was through his behalf. But then somehow I felt like I got closer to you faster than I did to him. And it's especially because you're a girl.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, with him, it was like all my tomboy things. Like dragging a ball. And he was my, physics buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks to him, I passed. Things like that. So it's like I had that different friendship. More of like that boys' interest, because that's what we were bonding about. Be like Dragon Ball Z and things like that, or like the animes. And then when I met you, it was like, oh, do you want to be my model? And I'm like,
okay,
sure.
I don't have experience.
I have zero experience, but thank you for thinking about me. But I also, felt super, like, I honestly did really feel like good because you asked me to do that, and I would be like, yo, na papa, you want me to model for you?
So,
but at the end, like, I put myself to the side. I was like, okay, this is not about me. This is about you. This is about your portfolio. This is about getting, good shots so you can show other people, like, hey, this is what I can do. So I was like, no, don't worry. It's going to be fine. And then I got closer to you guys, and you guys have made me feel more comfortable in my skin than I was before. But I still have a long way to go.
I mean,
but it's
little
not because,
by little.
Yeah, but it's because of me. Like I said, like it's just something that I have to work in with myself, because I have the support from you guys, Daniela, even Jules. She's like, I don't understand. She's like, because she has the same little round face as me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jules, you're beautiful every time you take pictures. And she's like, you gotta know your angles. And I'm like, I don't know my angles.
I know your angles.
It's to the side, the pose. But, even she's told me, like, you're really pretty. Like, why don't you feel like that? And I'm like, I guess it's just more trauma within me, like more mental. Like, I'm not saying I'm not pretty, because everybody's like, you're so pretty, and I'm like, thank you. Like, I didn't say I wasn't pretty. I'm just saying I'm a potato.
Potatoes are pretty.
Potatoes are beautiful.
I don't think I told you, but back in high school, I did see you a lot. And
stalker.
I mean, you always hung out in front of the 1800s. I did see
spot.
you. Yeah. I saw you a lot, and I always thought you were pretty, and I guess that's why I asked you. I asked you, even though
baby face.
You had a baby face. You still do. And I just
singing a curse.
And I just wanted to ask you. I was like, I don't know if she'll think I'm weird, but I'll ask. And I think even he told me, he's like, yeah, ask her. And
she's cool. She likes Dragon Ball.
Yeah, ask her.
She'll be fine. She's a little wacky, but she's a little depressed ball, but she'll be fine. But no, I really did feel like because I remember that when I started kind of, working with you and the whole like modeling kind of thing, I was going through my own, personal stuff. And then that's how I was able to also kind of talk to you in Campos, and you guys helped me out through a lot and always offered me, advice, even took me out to eat just to get me out of, my environment. But after I moved out, and kind of was on my own and then still did the photo shoots with you, like I felt myself coming out.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was a little kid, and even my mom told me, and it's kind of weird for my mom to tell me something like that because I haven't always been with her, but for my mom to tell me that I lost my spark, it was like, what do you mean? Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, when you were little, she's like, you did not care about what the world thought of you. She's like, you would wear, and it was true, like I would wear like a bunch of like different color bracelets. I would wear what I wanted, accessories and everything. And then growing up, especially through high school, you see, especially Chula, that didn't have no uniforms. Yeah. It was like the way that girls would dress. You're like, I want to look like that too. Exactly. But I didn't have the money to go buy Hollister and Aeropostale because that's what it was. It was Hollister, Aeropostale, Lacoste, all those brands. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I don't have money for that, So I would be going to Ross and buying the nicest shirts that I could find. And then I would wear it and I'd be like, this doesn't feel like me. Yeah. But I was trying to fit in. I was trying to look nice. I remember one time that I got so bummed out because when they would have birthdays at high school. And the girls would make those big deals. And it was like the group of girls that would bring balloons and cakes and presents. And I had friends too, but we did our own like personal like, oh, hey, happy birthday. And we would give each other presents, but it was never that big. And I'd be like, oh, where's mine? Like, when am I going to get one? And then I finally got one. And then I was like, well, I guess. It's not, there's no difference. Exactly. But it was always because I would see them and I wanted that. And then when it happened to me, I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, well, I guess it wasn't that big of a deal anyway. Like, it's the same thing. Like, everybody just said happy birthday and I got balloons. But it was still, that pushing of, okay, high school is, the girls are dressing a certain way and you kind of want to fit in. And I was in cross country and soccer and all of that. So I don't consider myself like a tomboy, but I would, jeans and a shirt and I would be comfortable. And even to the date, like I'll wear some jeans and a shirt and I'd be more comfortable than, wearing a tight dress. You know how I am with like tight clothes. But then I'm like, I want to wear those tight clothes or I want to look a certain way. And so that's why I'm like, it's within me. Like, it's what I really want and how I want to portray myself. But when I started molding myself to other people or like what I thought people would see, that's when I kind of lost myself too. Yeah. And so growing up, I was like, okay, being foster kid, it was like, I want to fit in because I don't want to be different. I'm already different because I'm foster. Yeah. And so it kind of went through high school. And then once I graduated, it just stuck with me. But these years, just kind of in the adult world, in quotations, I have been able to kind of get out of that little bubble and kind of see myself more. And I enjoyed having those, photography sessions with you, even if it wasn't because I'm a model or anything. But it was just nice because, like I said, you would send me the pictures and I'd be like, oh my God, that looks nice. Oh my God. Yeah, it's me, Mario. And so that's why I'm like, I've always told you, like, it's not that I'm not going to, do photo shoots with you anymore. It's just like me personally, I need to work on myself and then, have that time. Like I said, I want to do a shoot, but I want to do it for myself. Like, not necessarily to be like, oh, look at the world. Look at my curves. But I think one day, hopefully soon. Hopefully before the end of this year. Like, I definitely don't want to end the year because I still want to do that project, the flower one. Yeah. And I'm still going to do it. Like I said, I still have my boxes of flowers. But it's just been, all over the place, back to back. And I also, don't want to distract you from like what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna focus on this, and once I have a piece set, then we'll start planning.
Yeah.
Because I know I mentioned to you the concept, but then I was like, okay, she's doing her boudoir. Like I don't want to stress her out to be like, oh hey, like I have this idea, and then going back and forth, and then you asking me like, oh, so when are you gonna do it? And I'd be like, oh, pues es que no sé. I have. So I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I'll let you know when, but just keep it in the back of your head. But because I want to, like I said, work on myself. And then this podcast also was kind of like a push of like, okay, well,
and that's fine.
Once I started, I can't stop because then people are gonna be like, hey, ¿dónde te fuiste? But I just hopefully it'll grow into what I want it to be. It's hard for me to keep on that level because of the way that I am personally. I get stressed out a lot, or I overwhelm myself because I want to do so many things. Yeah. And I have to kind of slow down.
Take a step back.
And kind of do like, okay, what's the first thing? Okay, I need to do this. All right, I did it. And then what's next? And I noticed that a lot. I was like, okay, you can't put so much on your plate. But you cannot fill up your plate. Yeah, like I do that to myself, and it's because I'm very ambitious with no energy. With no energy. But it's because of my job. And that's what I've noticed.
Your hours.
Yeah, like if I take the time off and I sleep, kind of better, then I notice that I have a shift in energy. And I'm like, oh, hell no. So you're telling me that because I'm working, it's holding me back from kind of, living my dreams. Yeah. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. and I noticed that. So I'm like, okay, now I have to kind of make a routine to where I'm actually, descanso. I got to get up and then I have to continue. But it's true. Like, because of my job, I don't have a consistency in sleep. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's another thing I have to focus on, trying to, change that time. But for now, for the time being, my routine consists of getting up and kind of nurturing myself, with a healthy breakfast in a sense. Yeah. Even if I don't eat a big breakfast, like I'll make a smoothie. I started making those smoothies. And I actually started drinking the green tea también. Yeah. So it kind of gives me that energy boost. But I know that I have to leave coffee because coffee is affecting my anxiety. Yeah. But then coffee wakes me up for my graveyard shift. Yeah. So where's the balance, Yeah. So I think I have a lot to go still, but I'm really happy with the the accomplishments. Yeah, progress, the accomplishments that I've done, and the progress that I continue, to grow, to not give up. I do take breathers. And I do kind of, pause. But I have, like, this quote that I heard or read that was, like, learn when to... If you get tired, learn when to rest, not to, give up. Yeah. So that is kind of, like, one of my affirmations, too. Kind of, like, learn to rest and don't give up. And then just continue. Like, the next day, you can always do it. I've been working on my house, little piece by piece, how I've mentioned to you. And now I don't feel so overwhelmed because I'm like, okay, I'll get to that tomorrow. At least I got this done today.
Exactly. One thing at a time.
But yeah, like most of the things, I just wanted to see how you were doing. I know that it's been stressful. COVID ruined a lot of your plans. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm glad that you found growth in it. I'm glad that you found a way to cope, and then that it led you to what you are now, doing with your boudoir. I'm like, I'm really happy where things are going for you. Again, I'm always rooting.
You were a big part of it, so thank you.
I tried. Like I said, I'm not always perfect, and I'm not always on the 411, and I it's just because I block myself in my own little world.
That's fine.
And that's just what it is. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, what happened to you? Even Animal Crossing, okay? I play Animal Crossing, and I forget to, like, go in. And then I check, and they're like, hey, it's been such a long time.
Are you alive?
Yeah. They're like, it's been such a, like, long time. Like, where you been? And I'm just like, depression's real, girl. I just, like, text them back to them, and they're like, okay.
You good?
Yeah, no. Like, if I'm going MIA in my virtual life, my personal life is just out there.
It's just not taking the things personal. So I like to check in on you every so often. If we stop talking, I know it's nothing personal.
Yeah, no, like it's never been personal. Like I
No.
said, like it's just I know that
Life.
you're consumed in everything that you're doing. Like I
Yeah.
said, you're doing all of your. Oi. Okay. I just realized that the computer is going to die.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so yeah, so thanks everyone for listening, and special thanks to Daisy, for being on the podcast and sharing some of her experiences and her journey in her photography. It's been so much fun to really catch up with you because it's been a long time since we haven't seen each other.
Been a while.
Congratulations!
Thank
again.
you. Thank you for having me. It was fun. It was good looking back at all my growth, and just I didn't realize how much has happened since we started shooting 2016, but
Right?
it's been a lot of growth in both of us. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you too. I'm telling you, we're here for support and to lift each other up.
Exactly.
And if you want to go ahead and plug in your socials,
Yeah, you can find me at Daze, that's DAZE digital.creations, all over
social media, like Instagram.
social media. So that's Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. It's all the same.
Yeah, and you can find Fostering Growth on social media too. Our Instagram is fostering.growth.pod. Our Twitter is at foster_growth with 2 H's. And Facebook, you gotta search for Fostering Growth. You can add us as friends or go to the Facebook page with the same name as Fostering Growth, and you can feel free, to go like and follow. So, oh god, sorry.
Let us know what you thought about this episode, or if you have an idea for a topic, need some advice, and if you'd like to share some of your experiences, please send an email to fostering.growth.pod@gmail.com.
Thanks everyone. Hopefully we'll,
Thank you.
catch you later. Bye.
Bye.